is Ameeta Maliekkal and I work for Kearney, a management consultancy firm. I've been working with Kearney, the India unit, for the past 2 years as a business analyst, and today I'm here to share a few tips on how to prepare for any interview process for a consulting firm. Before we jump into the preparation, it is important to understand what is expected from a business analyst and what are the skills and capabilities that they typically look for. The skills and capabilities that are typically looked for any business analyst are three. 1. Problem solving ability. 2. Communication skills. 3. The ability to work in teams. Now, coming to the interview process can be broken into two bits. One being case solving and 2, your personal round or your HR round. Now, coming to case solving, what is a case? A case is nothing but a problem statement that the interviewer will give you, and he or she expects you to solve the case in a logical and structured manner. These cases typically revolve around industry issues, market related issues, and the interviewer will expect you to solve them in a logical, structured manner while also testing whether you have basic understanding of how markets and industries work. For example, the interviewer may give you a case such as, your client is a food and beverage manufacturer who has witnessed a decline in profits in the past 2 years. Can you help the client identify the root cause behind the decline in profits and how he or she can ensure that the profits are restored in the coming next 2 years? Now, what is expected from you when you're given this case? You may not have enough information about the client, about the market, about what is the cause of the decline in profitability. Therefore, unlike other interviews, a case involves constant engagement with the interviewer, asking the right questions, nudging the right questions to the interviewer so that the interviewer can give you answers that will help you lead to the logical conclusion for this case. It is important to ask all your preliminary questions to the interviewer because the answers that the interviewer gives you will shape the course of the case solving process. So, for example, in this case, you would typically ask the interviewer, okay, have we seen an increase in cost or have we seen a decline in sales, right? Because what is profit? Profit is nothing but revenue minus cost. So either your revenue has fallen down or your costs have gone up or both have gone up in certain or both have acted in a particular manner in certain magnitude. Your costs have gone up and your revenue has come down, right? So it is important to ask these questions and then to further drill down. So for example, if the interviewer tells you cost has remained constant but revenue has fallen down, then you will further drill down to understand why has revenue fallen particularly. Is it an industry-wide problem? Is it a problem faced only by the client? And then you go on and find out what is the underlying cause. Once you've identified the underlying cause behind the decline in profitability, then you can then go on to make suggestions as to how can the client restore profitability in the next 1 or 2 years, right? To ensure that you have enough practice for cases, you do have a lot of material online as well as a lot of case books available in the market. The two best resources available in the Indian market, first being Case in Point. It's a book that has been used for years together. It lays down the basic structure for any kind of cases, be it a profitability case, a market entry case, a growth strategy case, etc. A lot of good questions to practice, a lot of good cases to practice. The other book that you can refer to is Case Interviews Cracked. Again, that also has a lot of good material, typically for those who are fresh out of graduation. This book is written by 2 IIT graduates, and therefore it comes from that perspective, that lens of understanding from a graduate's perspective. What is also important is to understand that anything on your CV can be turned into a case, right? So it is important to understand and solve cases, especially pertaining to the industries that you might have done your internship in. After your case rounds, if you do clear your case rounds, you will also have something known as the personal interview round, in which the interviewer would be interested in knowing you as a person. So typical questions are behind what are your weaknesses, what are your strengths, what are your work areas. So ensure you have done your SWOT analysis, which is strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Ensure you know your strengths and weaknesses and how do you make sure that you can come across as the right fit for the organization. The interviewer would also want to know your ambitions. Why do you want to do consulting? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? So for the personal interview, my recommendation would strongly be going through your CV, knowing all the strong points in your CVs. But what often individuals do not do is they don't see the gaps in their CVs and don't prepare for them. For example, on my CV, I didn't have anything pertaining to an internship. So I ensured I prepared an answer as to why I didn't do an internship or why I chose to do so many fests in college and what was my learning from doing those fests and how can I imbibe those learnings in a corporate setup. So it's important you know your CV inside out, you know your strengths on the CV, at the same time you know the gaps in the CV. It is important to know what do you bring to the organization, what do you expect from the organization, whether you are a fit for the organization and whether the organization is a fit for you. So ensure that when you're preparing for any consulting firm, you know why you want to join that consulting firm or why do you want to join consulting as a whole. And ensure, coming to cases, ensure that you practice 2 to 3 cases every day. We also have something known as guesstimates, where the interviewer, which is not a typical case, it's more number related, it's more number crunching related. So a guesstimate could be something as simple as guesstimate the number of cars or guesstimate the number of taxis in Mumbai, right? And in crude terms, guesstimate is nothing but guessing plus an estimation of how many taxis are there in Mumbai, but again in a logical manner. So practice guesstimates. Both the books that I've recommended, Case in Point and Case Interviews Cracked, have enough guesstimates. So ensure every day you practice minimum 2 cases, do enough guesstimates. What you can do and what is a quick, dirty way to prepare and to ensure you have knowledge about different industries, different kind of products and services for cases and guesstimates is take 5 services and take 5 products and ensure they're as varied and different as possible. And think, if you were to enter the market for this product or if you were to do a profitability case, what are the factors that would drive the profitability behind these products, right? So for example, if you want to launch a washing machine, let's say in Haryana in 1960, and you want to estimate what would be the market size for this product, what would be the factors that you would consider? You would consider how many people can afford to buy a washing machine, how many people have access to electricity, how many people have access to water, how many people would want to go and buy a washing machine, how many people have the space to accommodate a washing machine in their houses, etc. So you can choose 5 products, 5 services and see how varied are the factors that would typically go in the market sizing for these products and services, or what are the factors that drive the profitability for these services or these products. So another example would be you want to launch a purple lipstick in India, right? So what is the market size? How many people do you think, how many lipsticks can you sell in a year? Purple lipsticks can you sell in a year? So you would first look at how many, what kind of population would buy purple lipsticks, right? So it would typically be females of a certain age group, 18 to 25. At what frequency per year would they buy? Some would buy at 2, some would never want to buy a purple lipstick, some would buy 5 times a year, etc. And then you reach to a number of total lipstick spot in a year. So ensure that you do practice enough cases, you practice enough guesstimates, you prepare your CV well inside out, you know your CV, you know your strengths and weaknesses, and see how cases are solved. There are some brilliant YouTube channels. For example, there's this YouTube channel called Victor Cheng, where he actually solves cases on paper, and he's ex-McKinsey, so he has pretty much a vast number of years of experience. So you can also follow these YouTube channels and books and prepare well, and I'm pretty sure you will do well. Thank you so much.